Hello and welcome to VIDATUM Academic. To access the system, you will need to log in. There are two methods of logging in. One, you can manually type the credentials in the fields here, or two, you can log in using Google. If you do not have an account, please contact your institution's administrator for assistance. In the event you forget your password, there is a Forgot Password option on the login page. Clicking on this will prompt you to fill in your email address, and a link to your password will be sent to your inbox. Upon successful login, you'll be brought to the home page. The home page will be the first thing that users will see when they log in. I'll give a quick overview of the home page before we dive into the other aspects of VIDATUM Academic. At the top of the page is a navigation bar containing links to other aspects of the system, such as user's profile, publications that they have contributed to, and other profile tools in the tools section. On the right, you have a language dropdown, where you can go between different languages supported by the system. The user icon, with a cogwheel for the user's preferences, and lastly, the logout button. In the main section of the page are quick summaries of the user's profile. Here in the Actions section, you have a list of recommended actions that are suggested to a user, such as outstanding publications to claim, connecting your ORCID ID, and so on. On the right, you have a summary based on the number of publications you have claimed. Professional activities you have added to your profile, teaching activities, maybe research activities, and lastly at the bottom is a preview of the recommended publications that you can claim and add into your account. The profile section is where users can begin entering their profile information. Clicking on Profiles will bring a user to the Profiles page. The first thing a user will see is the General Overview page. Here users can begin entering the details that can show up on their public profile. Adding or editing information will consist of a list of mandatory and non-mandatory fields. These are either separated into different sections or denoted by an asterisk. When you are finished adding an entry, click on Save. It will then be added into your profile. The same principle applies to almost the rest of the profile section, such as the Professionals page, right here, where you would enter your professional history and awards. The Teaching section, where you can showcase your programs or coordinated modules and students supervised. And lastly, the Research Overview page, where you can show research that you have participated in and your interests. While most of the profile section work very similarly, there are two parts of the profile section that work very differently from the rest. This is the Patents and Licensing Agreements under the Professional section, and then there is the Research Projects in the Research Overview section. We will begin by taking a look at the patents. Now, before you are able to manually add a patent, you also have the ability to choose from a list of pre-existing patents in the system. If your patent is not in this list, you can then manually add one. Manually adding a patent may prove to be time-consuming, especially if you are adding more than a few patents at a time. So this feature aims to save you the trouble of having to fill in this form every single time. An additional feature is that you can also help your colleagues save time by adding them to your patent. Now, this can only be done if you own the entry in the system. You can do so by clicking on the button here, and then clicking on adding a staff member. From here, you can specify the role that they play. When that is done, this patent would automatically show up on their relevant profiles. An example can be seen here, where a colleague of mine has added me as part of their patent. While this will show up on my profile automatically, I cannot make changes or edit this at all. This will be read-only. Now, in the event that this is a mistake, I can simply delete this from my profile. This feature works the exact same way with research projects. Over here, I can again add a staff member and specify the role that they played. Users can add a number of publications that they have done or contributed to on their profile. Before we begin, we have to make sure that their author names have been set up in the preference section. We can do that by going to the preferences on the upper right hand side. And here, we have to type in the author names, which is how our names may have appeared in publications we have done or contributed towards. As an example, it could be John Smith, or it could even be J. Smith. Or even Smith J. Right, now that it's set up, we will go into publications. The first page you will see will be the My Publications page. Now, this will show all publications you have added to your profile. To add publications to your profile, there are 3 ways. First one is to claim from a list of publications under Claim Publications. On this page, publications will be suggested to you based on the author names you provided earlier in the Preferences section. From here, you can claim a publication if it is yours, or reject a publication if it is a false match. So over here, I'm going to demonstrate a claim. If I claim this, this will now be removed from the list of claim publications. And if I reject it, since maybe this could be a false match, this will also be removed from the claim new publications. This can also be done in bulk. So by using these checkboxes, you take multiple ones, and then you can use the action buttons here to execute them across all these boxes checked. A second way of adding a publication is by manually adding one. You can do so by clicking on the Create New Publication button up here and type in the details, such as the DOI, title, and year. And what will happen is this will search the system for any pre-existing publications with the search term you entered. Now, if there are no publications, you will then be able to add one manually. You can now fill in these fields accordingly. There are multiple publication types and subcategories so that you can find the best way to classify your entry. So for example, if I were to click on Other Publication, since these do not fit what I want, there's a very long list here that you could fit your publication into. When you're finished entering all these details, you can click on Save at the very bottom, and the publication will be added to your profile. The third and last way of adding a publication is through search. Now, the search feature we have, what it does is it allows you to search either through keywords or through an advanced search such as using the DOI, ISBN or ISSN, or even the PubMed ID. Doing a search here will create an entry below, which your user can view. From here, you can view a publication, and if relevant, you can directly add them to your profile. Once we have a profile that has been populated, we can do 2 things. 1, we can publish this profile and have it be public. Or 2, we can create individual CVs with this tailoring it to the occasion. We will start with publishing the profile. Clicking on Tools will bring us to the Manage Profile page. This page deals with the public-facing side of your profile. Here, you can set which details you want hidden and which details you want public. You can do this by toggling them to show or to be hidden. A visual indicator for a hidden entry is that the text is grayed out, whereas if it's public, it'll be solid. You can also rearrange the entries of a section. When this is done, click on the Save button and publish your profile. Clicking on Publish will bring you to the page where you can confirm making your profile public. You can also remove your profile from the web by clicking on the red button. Lastly, You can download a Microsoft Word format version of your profile. Next, we will look at CVs. CVs are a customized version of your profile that is separate from your public one. This will allow you to customize or make changes without having to make changes to your public profile. The concept is the exact same. Managing your profile before, toggling your details that you want shown or hidden, and then you would save. Difference is that you would download this so that you can present it